Hello, everybody. I'm not expecting a whole lot of people to be in my actual live right now because I know quite a few of my other supporters that are usually here are doing some lives, including Mr. Real Estate is doing a live. So I know Lashes is there, and I know Moments with Liva is also there as well. So hopefully you guys catch me on the replay. Hopefully. But for those of you who do show up to my live, I'm always grateful for it. So today will be a relatively quick little review. Some of you might have been here with me on Sunday or Monday, where I gave a little quick preview of tonight's little live. So tonight I'm going to be talking about an exhibit that just started. I think it came out maybe a week or two ago at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. It is called L'Heure Mauve by Nicolas Party, or The Purple Hour by Nicholas Party. Like I said, it is at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts currently. So it's a very interesting. There was a nuit blanche or an all-nighter at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts Saturday. So I think Sunday I did a little unboxing video. So if you guys want to see the gift bag I got and what I got, please check out that video. It's maybe 20, 30 minutes. It's not a very long live. Come on, guys, give me some watch time. Where I basically show you guys what I got. But it was really interesting and fun. Now, of course, because of the whole C19, obviously a lot of things have changed. So, of course, the Nuit Blanche wasn't as fun as it, and as exciting as most of these Nuit Blanche usually are, unfortunately. But it is what it is, and you kind of expect things to be different because of C19 and all that. So, without any further ado, we're going to talk about, like I said, L'Heure Mauve. And of course, as you guys know me, I will be showing you some of the photos that I took at the exhibit. Okay. And these are photos that you will be able to see, um, on your own as well. I will be showing you guys, giving you guys the link to that now. So just give me a second here. I'm going to go ahead and get the link to that album, and I'll put it in the chat in a moment. And I hope everybody's had a good night and a good week so far. Da, 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 da. And I will be playing because what they've done for this particular exhibit is that they've included QR codes, not only for this exhibit, but a few other photos and so forth, where you scan the QR code and you're able to get access to extra content. So for this, they have basically, for those of you who haven't been to um, to the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts, the museum is built in several sections. There's like I think 6 or 7 different pavilions, and obviously each pavilion has its own different layout. But basically, this particular pavilion, it's technically that was at one point the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. So that one building was the whole museum at one point. And of course, the museum, like a lot of other places, grows and added on to it. But it was at one point the Montreal Museum, and basically each room was its own thing, right? So now, of course, the layout has changed since the building was originally built, etc. Like I said, obviously other pavilions have been added on to it, but basically, um, the second floor, there's several little rooms, and basically each room connects to each other in such a way that it's basically a very large U, if you can imagine the letter. So you're walking from, let's say, the right side of the U, uh, from the like the small the little stem part of it. You walk down the stem, then you turn left, and you go to the base of the U. So you go through the base of the U, and then you turn left, and you go through the other stem, basically, right? Essentially, okay. Um, Now, obviously, practically, the U is connected. It's all one big room essentially, right? But essentially, the layout of the exhibit, that's how it's built. It's built through the U part. Okay. Um, so basically, each room of that U has its own music. So that QR code will lead you to a different music, essentially. So in an ideal situation, let's say the music is for 3 minutes. The ideal situation is you're spending 3 minutes in that room, listening to the music, you know, looking at the art, etc., etc. The music ends, you go to the next room, you scan the QR code, the music is there for a minute, you stay in the room for minutes, and you're, listening to the music, and, go to the next room. Now, obviously, since this is copyright music, and it's on YouTube, I obviously can't play all of the music here for you guys right now. I don't want to get a copyright strike, but I will show like 10 seconds of it. Now, obviously, if you guys are listening to this on the replay and you don't hear the music, I will put it in the chat, but I will try to remember to put it in the description so that way you guys can always listen to the music on your own. I am working so that eventually my Flickr photos that I took when for the appropriate photos, I will include the music itself. So that way, when you decide to go to my Flickr and click on the photo, you'll be able to click on the photo, get to the music that's associated with that photo, right? Hopefully, okay. Excuse me. That's the ultimate goal that I'm working to. But of course, I now have two part-time jobs. I'm dealing with YouTube, so obviously there's a lot for me to do, and I don't have as much energy as I would like to be able to do as everything I like. And as much as I like Fiverr, unfortunately, the tasks that I would really like help with, nobody seems to be willing to. Hey, I'm willing to accept $50 and I'll do X, Y, Z, and it includes editing your photos on Flickr. So unfortunately, I either have to do it on my own or find some way of saying, "Hey, I'm willing to pay you $50. You just have to do this." But anyways, so I'm gonna put here. What did I click? 1 second. Okay. So this is going to be the photos you can get to. I'm going silent here. Actually, okay. I'm actually should I have to get in the habit of remembering to put the music in the background. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So before I had I think I'm gonna play the dance pop. I think last time I played it, I didn't really like it too much. Let's see what happens here. See how it sounds. No, don't like it. So I'm gonna play the other one. It says daydreaming. Let's see how that one sounds. Okay, that one's not too bad. Okay, so I'll have the daydream. So for those wondering, the music is a daydreaming by StreamYard. I don't know who actually sat down and wrote the music, but that's the music you can hear, and it's provided graciously by StreamYard as their feature. I don't know if it's a feature that's part of the entire StreamYard, meaning that if you have a free account or a paid account, you have it, or if you have to pay to have access to it. I don't know, but it is what it is. So there you go. So, anyways, yeah. So for those of you who want to follow along with the photos or want to check out my photos afterwards, you're more than welcome to click the link in the description. Sorry, in the chat. But I will put the links. I know I don't have it there now. I will put the links to my photos and everything and the music in the description later on in my description. So if you don't see it there, please don't hesitate to, hey, she stole my thunder. Where's the links? We want to see your photos. Come on, we want to hear this music. Whatever, okay. I sometimes get busy, so please don't hesitate to hold me accountable to what I say. Okay. So there we are. All right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get started here, and I'm gonna show you guys a few photos from. Uh, so let me just get out the photos that I want to show you guys today. Okay, yeah, those are the ones I want. All right, so we're gonna start with the photos, and then after that, I will have you guys listen to, like I said, little tiny bits, little tiny clips of the music, because again, this is all copyrighted music, so I obviously do want to be respectful of other people's content and creations and work and so forth. So obviously, I won't play very much of it, and if you don't hear anything at all from the music, it is because I got a claim and deleted it from my video. But I will put it in again the description. So if you, like I said, don't hear the music, you'll be able to see it and hear it for yourself. If you want to simply listen to the full thing, you'll be able to do so by clicking the link in the description. All right. So I'm going to show you guys the first photo that I have for you guys tonight. Actually, I'll share. Sorry, I should actually talk about the exhibit itself. So yeah, we're going to go to the official. So this is the official publicity for La Mauve, or the Purple Hour, from, as you can see, Nicolas Party, which is going to go on, as you can see, until October 16, 2022, which is very abnormal for one exhibit to go on for so long, because normally most exhibits. So I'm just going to take a little sip of my adult drink. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, so normally most exhibits last maybe 3 or 4 months. So this started in February, end of February, right? And it's going to go all the way until October. That's like a good, what, 6 months, 7 months? And I think normally, for those of you who've been following me for a while, normally there would have been a different exhibit that would have started at about this time, which would have been an exhibit about evolution and would have starred Darwin. Okay, but because the head curator of the former, I should say, head curator of the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts, I forgot her name at the moment. She ended up being fired in a very controversial manner. She was the one who secured that exhibit. The people that said, yeah, we want you to show this exhibit, excuse me, this exhibit about Darwin and evolution. Because that curator got fired, they pulled back and said, no, we're not sending this exhibit. And I was really looking forward to that exhibit because it really seemed very interesting. This might be semi controversial, but I am big on science, big on evolution, big on quote unquote liberal ideas and all that. And that might not be, the kind of thing that, some of my audience I know tend to be more conservative and religious. But I'm not saying this to piss off anybody or to make anybody mad. I respect everybody, or at least I think I do. But again, if I say something that you guys disagree with or find offensive, please let me know. Please, I think it's always important to at least listen to ideas that are contrary to what you think and to what you believe. To sort of self-evaluate and see, could I be wrong about this? Is there something I need to change? Is there something that I need to do or think differently, right? And this, I think, applies just as much to me as it does to for everybody else. But like I said, if I'm wrong, let me know. Anyways, but yeah, so I really was looking forward to that exhibit. So when they canceled it because the curator got fired, I was like, oh, come on, don't punish us because of this, right? But anyways, that's their decision. That's their stuff. So I think that this is a lot longer because of that. I think this one, I think would have started later. Would have started in probably closer to like July, August, and would have then been a much shorter thing. So I think that's what they're doing with this exhibit. Which I mean, it's a good and bad thing. This exhibit is interesting, but to have it for 6, 7 months, it's interesting, but not that interesting. Like I get maybe having it start earlier, and then maybe okay, let's have it start now and go until let's say April or something. So that way at April, okay, let's find something else. But maybe they couldn't find something else in the meantime. Who knows? Like I'm not in museology, although there is that program at the I think there's a museum, not a museum, but there's a school of CJEP, a college, what we call CJEP, but it's a college that offers museology as a program you can study. But anyways, that's not my domain, so I don't really know why they decide to have this for 6, 7 months. And of course, I have a bot as my one and only in here with me. What can I do? Bye bye, Brooks. At least they make the effort of trying to get more quote unquote more American names. But anyways, let's report you unwanted. Bye bye. Bye, Brooks. Thank you for being here. Anyways, so this is the advertisement for, like I said, the Nicholas Taxi. As you can see, you're now required to book your ticket, even for me as a member. So even though it's free, I do have to book my ticket in advance. So as you can see, this is the main painting, and this is a painting that you can actually see. Now, obviously, here they make it seem a lot bigger than what it is. Now, it's like kind of like the Mona Lisa. Like I don't know what the actual dimensions of the Mona Lisa are, but a lot of people expect the Mona Lisa to be like, let's say 10 feet by 10 feet. And I'm obviously exaggerating the measurements here, obviously, right? But everybody expects the Mona Lisa painting to be a lot bigger than what it is, but it's more like something like 3 feet by 3 feet. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not giving accurate numbers here by intention. Okay, I don't know what the actual dimensions of the Mona Lisa painting is. My whole point isn't the numbers. The point is the fact that we expect it to be a lot bigger than what it is. And it's the same thing with this painting. This painting physically isn't as big as what this image seems to be. So I'm taking a little bit more of my adult drink. Obviously, because of YouTube, I can't say what it is, but you know, you make your own, draw your own conclusions as to what the adult drink is. Okay. All right. So there we are. So yeah, the painting is, like I said, a lot smaller. It is interesting. I mean, this is. I'll have to show you guys. I'll have to find it. I like this kind of weird art. I do like it because it's like obviously it's a picture of a woman, but I mean it's obviously no person is green, right? Although I did hear that story. I don't know if I don't know if the word urban legend is correct, but there's that story of the two green kids that were came through a portal in England, and they would only eat green beans, and but it kind of reminds me of that story. So I think in that urban legend, apparently the girl survived and the boy didn't, and it kind of feels like This was the girl grown up later on as an adult woman, and you have these butterflies, excuse me, that took a pity or were attached to her somehow, But I do like these kinds of paintings because they're very different, and you see her body's made out of mushrooms, right? So this is the advertisement to this exhibit. So just to read a little bit, so a major artist of our time, Nicholas Party, is known for his meticulously composed paintings, his painted sculptures and installation drenched in saturated colors through over 100 works and a series of large-scale murals realized in situ. He unveils a dreamlike exhibition themed on nature at the MFFA. Now, obviously, I'm not sure how I pronounce this word. I said situ, but if I mispronounced it, sorry guys. I'm a very good. I've had a nice accent, but I don't always say the words properly. So that's what's like I like about the museums that they'll have these descriptions and introductions to the works and to the exhibits. So that way you know a little bit of what to expect. So the official, because I was wondering what the official English translation to this exhibit is, and it is Mauve Twilight. Okay, mauve or purple. Okay, so I do like the fact that, as you can see here, the artist does try to integrate nature in his exhibit. So it's kind of like for me being a city girl, for example, I haven't quote unquote nature beside me. It's not something that I think about a whole lot. This is not my day to day life, right? I'm not the girl who has, butterflies and cows and, that's not my world, right? If I want nature, I go to the botanical garden, right? Um, so for me, having these kinds of exhibits and effort, like conscious effort by an artist to include nature in some way in his work, it's always intriguing to me. It's always fascinating to have that. And, it's a reminder that, up until fairly recently, right? Up until the Industrial Revolution, if you wanted nature, you just opened the door and walked out your home, right? You had cows everywhere, you had chickens everywhere. It was nothing but farmland, or just open woods, for miles and miles and kilometers, right? Um, so it wasn't until the past, like what, last 100 years, 150 years, where people like myself, um, the forest is something you have to actively look for, right? This is not something that um, you just open the door and okay, there's 100 kilometers of wood right next to you. You know what I mean? In Montreal, a wooded space is maybe. No, no, we don't want to see that right now. And well, okay, we'll take this opportunity. A wooded space like this is not something that you're gonna see readily on the island of Montreal, right? You're gonna have parks, yes, where there's going to be some trees. You're gonna have the botanical garden where they're gonna have large tree sections, yes. But this is not something that for most Montrealers is a regular scene, right? You have to actually go there and look for it, right? So I do like the fact that he's out here, Nicholas Party, saying, okay, you can't go to nature, so I'm going to bring nature to you. I'm going to have it be part of your life, whether you like it or not, right? So let's go down a little bit here. So a selection of the MMFAs, so Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. So for those of you who are wondering what those letters mean, that's what it is. So basically, this, and you'll notice, and I'll try to show it He'll integrate the in this exhibit. They integrated works that were actually already at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. This is one of them, okay, and we'll show a couple of them as well, where even in one of the works of Nicolas Party, he integrated. Sorry, I just had to yawn a little bit. He integrated one of the works by Otto Dix, who is a Jewish artist who was impacted by World War II. Like I said in my other live, I'm not going to go into the whole politics of World War II. I think that most of us at least have a vague idea of what happened during World War II, right? Especially for those who were, of Jewish heritage. I don't think I have to go into great detail about that. So Nicholas Party integrated one of the works from Autodesk, and then we will show both uh, today. Okay, so obviously here they're just taking a point of it's not, and that's what I do like about the exhibit at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. And I don't know if this is something that um, most museums do, or that this is typical just to of the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts, or if it's something that a lot of museums do. But I do like the fact that the museum, when they have something from, like obviously now this one is Nicholas Party, but if I know maybe I think it was a year ago where they had, was it a year ago or 2 years ago? I know it was relatively recently where they had works from Picasso, which was a very interesting exhibit, and they showed Picasso's African influence, right? So how Africa, the Black community, influenced the work of Picasso, right? They didn't just show only Picasso's work; they showed work of other artists, right? And how Picasso maybe influenced them, right, or inspired them, or how as a modern day African artist, how they do their work, right? How they might do a portrait versus how Picasso does a portrait, right? So, in this exhibit as well, excuse me, it's not just about showing Nicholas Party, but about how, again, because of this exhibit is about showing nature and the value of nature. They obviously, as you can see by the images that have been scrolling on the left hand side here, uh, how we've impacted nature and how nature has impacted us, right? Let's see. So that's the credit for this one, right? So this is Mount Temple, okay, by Lauren S. Harris. Okay, so this is a little close up, a little bigger of this one. Okay, and this is another. All right, so these are all the works, and obviously the artist himself. So this is Nicholas Party. Okay, Pierre Lapointe. So he's the one that did the music that I will play later on in this live. Okay, so that's just some of that. Yeah. All right, let's see the other side. Okay, so sometimes too when you're not sure about something and oh well, I went to the exhibit, what was it, what, I don't know what it was about. I've always tried to go to the website of the museum itself. They will tell you, oh yeah, we had that exhibit on this, we had that exhibit on that. So as you can see, the what's on, that's where you're going to find what's going on, of course, right? But they also have some of the previous exhibits that were on at the museum beforehand. But for those of you that haven't had a chance to come see this exhibit, don't worry. As you can see, you have until October 16th of this year to come to Montreal and check it out for yourself. I do hope that you come and check it out. So that's that for this. So as we saw, this exhibit really will put the emphasis on nature and how to reinterpret not only nature itself, but of course our relation to nature and nature's relationship to us. Okay, so I'm just going to take another little gulp of the adult drink. All right. Excuse me. My goodness, my body does not want to cooperate with me. So, of course, you guys know how I do. I'm going to show you guys 3 or 4 photos from this particular exhibit so that way you guys have time to look and see and hopefully appreciate. And again, guys, my photos, you will be able to see them. I put them on as a link in the chat, and I will include them in the description as well for those of you who want to be able to check it out for yourself. So, I'm going to show you guys the first one. So, give me a second here. I have to press the right buttons at the right time, right? So, this is the first one. And yeah, I definitely have to go back again. Oh, poor me, I know. Because this photo isn't the best photo to possibly take. It is, as you can see, a bit blurry. So I will have to go. There's a couple of these photos that I'm like, yeah, that's not my best shot. I definitely have to go back and redo. So this is two separate things. So we're just, oh, we're going a little too far down here. 1 second, guys. So this is head and purple clouds. So obviously the head is the head and the purple clouds is the background. Now I do like the fact that they utilize the walls because oftentimes, obviously you can't really see in this photo that I just showed, but the walls tend to be just a basic color, right? I've noticed that with this one, the color was like a deep green, right? To sort of symbolize the forest, jungle, however you want, plant life, right? You know what I mean? Grass, right? That kind of stuff, right? Um, so I get that that's okay, that's the color. I believe they had a dark purple. I forgot the name of the actual shade of purple for when they had an exhibit about Napoleon. What color was it for? I think it was blue for Picasso, I think. And I'm debating whether it was a different shade of purple, but I'm pretty sure it was blue for Picasso, right? So most of the time I'll just have a basic color, right, for the artist. So I'm glad that not for all, but excuse me, for a lot of the paintings or artifacts that they had, um, they integrated a mural instead, right? So they had a pattern. They had the mural was, as you can see here, excuse me, its own artwork, right? So it's something that could be its own piece by itself, right? Um, but obviously they built it in such a way that it coordinated with each other. It wasn't just the head, it wasn't just the mural, right? It was both together, because even though the head by itself was already intriguing and beautiful on its own, and yes, the mural by itself is, interested in and, beautiful on its own, combined, it gave a wonderful effect, right? So as you can see here, both are done by Nicolas Parti. Now, obviously, sorry, I've noticed that since I started working part time at the other job, it's been tough for me. I have to say that my energy, I'm getting lower and lower on energy. I have to admit. So these late night lives are tough, but I don't want to be live at 6:30 in the morning either, like I was this morning. But anyways, we'll push through uh, the things that we do for YouTube. I don't mind. It's okay. So obviously, the description and what's involved in creating the head versus the mural is obviously very different. So as you can see, both involve acrylic and oil. For the head, it's obviously acrylic and oil on the fiberglass shell, high duty polyurethane foam. So the head itself is made out of foam. And of course, for the mural, it's just acrylic on oil on the walls. And yes, of course, once the exhibit is done, these murals at the back are gone. Gone. Bye bye. Bye bye. So that's it for that one here. So then next we're going to show, this is another, it is a painting, one of, as you can see with the, as we saw, I should say, with the exhibit explanation from the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. This is one of the 50 works that is at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. It is there. So if you guys are in Montreal, either visiting or you, like myself, live here, you can normally see this particular painting there. Now, I showed this one because it is technically part of this exhibit, even though, like I just said, it is normally at the Montreal Museum. So sometimes, as you can see, a museum will integrate the works that it already has, sorry, in its exhibits that are temporary, right? So this exhibit, La Mauve, Mauve Twilight, will eventually go somewhere else. Now, will the paintings that normally are here in Montreal that are part of this exhibit, will it go there with it? Who knows? Some of them, they might, because museums do, like libraries, loan out their work to other museums, either because they're mandated to or because, hey, this makes sense for us to do this. You loaned us that painting, we're going to loan you this painting, right? Sometimes it's just, that's the politics, that's the game that some of these museums play, right? You want this Picasso painting? Well, we want that Rembrandt painting. So guess what? You either exchange, you either get we'll do a temporary agreement where you have that painted for 3 months, we have this painted for 3 months, right? So this is going to be the preview to the last painting. So you'll need to see this painting in order to understand the next one. So I'm going to obviously share with you. Hello, hello. Thank you, Creole Florida Living, for your support. I know I usually don't do content that you like, but I'm always appreciative of having you here supporting me. And, I'll try to support you as much as I can because, hey, I admit I'm not big on fishing, but hey, I'm always down to learn and to support a brother because, hey, these YouTube games, if we don't support each other, who will? So I'm glad you stopped by here. And I do hope that you do listen every once in a while to some of my content. But even if you don't, it's absolutely fine. I'm absolutely okay with it. I still love you, brother. And happy fishing. Catch a big one for me, okay? So, this photo that I'm about to show you, Krill, if you want to stay, great, fantastic. If you don't, if you're just have me in the background, that's absolutely fine as well. I've been told by a couple people I have a very relaxing stream and that they enjoy listening to me to go to bed and help. I don't know if that's a compliment though. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm so boring. I put people to sleep all time. No, I take it as a compliment. I know they mean it as a compliment that I'm the kind of person that doesn't like offend them and get them like mad or anything. So no, I know it's a compliment. So I'm glad that I don't stress people out, and I don't want to stress people out. I'm hoping that people enjoy my content. So as I was saying, this is a painting from a Jewish artist named Otto Dix. This was his lawyer. I'm still trying to figure out been years since I've seen this painted. I don't know what this gesture is supposed to be. You tell me, guys. What do you think this is? I don't know. And look, I make no claims of being a art historian. I'm not that girl. I love art. It's enjoyable, but I'm not deep in depth and I know every little. Oh, red means this, and if it's this shade, I don't know that stuff. I enjoyed it. I mean, like most people, I know red tends to mean passion and love and fire and anger and all that, but I don't know what this hand. You tell me what this hand gesture means. It can't. I don't know if it's sign language or music or I don't know. You tell me, right? I do know that this is his lawyer. So Otto Dix. This is not a self portrait. So this is not Otto Dix, but this is the lawyer for Otto Dix. And Creel, I hope you've had a great day, great week, great weekend. Thank you. Thank you, Creel. Yes, I know. We have to support each other. Like I said, I have to be honest. I'm not a big fishing girl. I did do fishing a couple times. Um, I feel bad for the fish. That's why I don't. Uh, yeah, not that tough. Yeah, it can be tough sometimes, but I like fishing. I just don't like catching fish, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not. I like the act of fishing. It's very relaxing as a sport, but I don't want to catch the actual fish. You know, just the act of fishing and being on the water and being one with nature. It's definitely fun. I guess I guess that's why I follow so many fishing channels now. It's like I'll 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 fish vicariously through you guys. I'll let you guys catch the fish and enjoy eating them, and I'll just pretend like I'm on the water with you guys. How about that? But yeah, it's fishing is not for me. But look, it's I like watching you guys and like I'm always it's enjoyable watching people's passion for things. That's what I like when I watch channels that aren't they're not my kind of content. They're not things that I would actively go out. But I like seeing people talk about the things that they're passionate about, that they enjoy, and you can tell that they love this. This is what they would do regardless whether they make money off of this or not. And I've noticed that there's certain sports, there's certain activities that you see that joy regardless, right? And fishing, I've noticed the fishing community, you guys are one of the fishing and homesteading, like gardening. Those are the two that like these are activities like look, you're not making millions. Like nobody in the homesteading and fishing community are making millions and millions of dollars, right? But the joy that I've seen so many do this. Oh my God, look at the fish I caught. And oh my daughter, caught her for my son did this. And that. The joy that I see you guys have doing this, it's absolutely wonderful. And it's not like you're out here like, yeah, I destroyed this. No, it's like, oh, I caught this little baby fish and I put it back. And oh my God, and just to see the gentleness that you guys have with like, putting the fish back so that we have to be careful. Watch the head. Make sure to take out the hook in a certain way so we don't harm it. And it's so beautiful to see that. It's wonderful. Anyways, I'm I'm ranting. Sorry guys. Sorry. I tend to rant. I'm sorry. All right, back to this. But anyway, so yeah, so this is Auto Dix, and we'll get into the actual painting here. So as you can see, this is Otto Dick's lawyer, Hugo Simmons. And like I said, I still haven't figured what that hand gesture is supposed to mean. You tell me if there's art historians that if ever there's a art historian that happens to know about this painting that comes by and by some coincidence of the world, please tell me what that hand gesture is all about. Because I have no idea. Excuse me, no bleeping idea. So, as you guys can see, this is my actual photo, which is why I'm not afraid to show this. I am an amateur photographer, so this is photos I took at the museum during my latest visit to it. Now, I have to admit that all this content that you see here that's written, I type it out, but I'm not the one that comes up with it. It's all on what's called a descriptor. So oftentimes when you're looking at a painting, and I'm sure for those that go to museums, even if it's just once in every 10 years or something, right? And I make no personal judgments if you're not a big on museums. I get museums aren't for everybody. Just like I said, fishing isn't for me. Hunting isn't for everybody. I don't know what other activity you can. Hockey isn't for everybody, right? It's fine. You don't have to like everything, right? I don't like everything. Not everything I like everybody likes, right? I love going to museums, but I'm sure some people are like, museums are boring. What are you talking about? Go to museums. Museums are stupid. Okay, fine. You know. But for those of you that do go to museums, even if it's every once in a while, you'll notice usually to the bottom right of the painting, there's these little stickers on the walls with words on it. Well, that's the descriptor, right? And of course, like the title would say, it describes the painting that you're looking at. Now, some descriptors are very, very, very basic. You're not going to get a whole lot. Some of the descriptors, as you can see with this ones, are very, very long, where you have a lot, right? And that's always variable. There's no guarantee as to what you're going to get. Now, most of the time, most of the descriptors tend to be about this, right? Okay, you're not going to get a whole lot. Okay, and even this part here, where oops, sorry, where it talks about the purchase, oftentimes it's maybe a line or two in that. All right, so the descriptor, it really depends. Part of it depends on the artist himself. Part of it depends on the museum. Now, this is a work that belongs to the museum itself, and that normally is in a specific uh, portion, of specific pavilion of the Montreal Museum of Fine Art. And it is an older work, right? So as you can see, it's from 1925, right? So many people have had time to sit down and discuss the work and really analyze it and go in depth to about this particular work, which is why there's so much information on the descriptor, right? Somebody like Nicholas Party, where he's a contemporary artist, right? As you can, uh, he is. I think he was born in 1940s, sorry, 1960s or 70s, something like that, right? He's not a whole lot older than I am, right? So a lot of his uh, paintings, the descriptors aren't going to be very big, right? They're going to give you very, very, very basic information because you don't, with him, you don't have 50, 60, 100, 200 years of people talking about his work, analyzing his work, right? He doesn't have, hundreds and hundreds of paintings or works that people are sitting down and analyzing. And oh, well, he seems to talk a lot about this. He seems to talk a lot. Um, yes, he has this particular exhibit where he did create a lot of work, but it's work for this one specific exhibit, right? So with Picasso, for example, who yes did work for specific exhibits, but Picasso had hundreds of photos, hundreds of paintings done over 60, 70 years. Now, even though Picasso passed away relatively recently, I think he passed away in the 1970s, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's what, 30, 40 years ago, something like that, right? 50 years? That's not a whole lot of time. That's one person's lifetime at worst if somebody passes away young, right? 50 years is young, you know what I mean? Just give me a moment, guys. I do need to cough. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you. And that's what I do like about having. Sorry, my body decided that it doesn't. It wants to act up on me. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. My body decided it did not want to cooperate with me tonight, and that's what I was going to say. That I'm glad that StreamYard has the background music feature because I would have really felt bad having a silent stream because that's what I do find annoying. And I do know some people do have silent streams just to get the watch hours going, but I find that annoying. And I've had to stop supporting a couple channels just because it's like all their content is silent stream just to get watch hours. I'm like, look, I don't mind supporting you. I don't mind spending an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours if I can supporting you. But if you're gonna just sit there and play music and that's it, why am I supporting you? Right? Because I have a couple people that have 5 hour, 6 hour live stream, and that's all they have is five, where they seemingly talk and say nothing, but at least they're saying something, they're participating, they're interacting with their audience, right? I'd rather, like me right now, I'm rambling, right? I'd rather listen to you rambling and, oh, my day was really horrible, or my day was wonderful, or my mother is sick, or my kid got an A+ on that exam. I'd rather you sit there and say nothing and talk about anything and everything, but at least you're talking, at least you're giving us something, than you just play music and not. What is that? Come on. Anyways, I'm ranting here, guys. So, where was I? Oh, yes. So, the lawyer, Hugo Simmons. So let's just go in here. We're going to go to um, my handy dandy trusty Wikipedia and see what comes on out with me. I was kind of hoping that this particular website would have a little bit more information about. No, they're not giving me a whole lot of info. No, so I'm trying to find another. Uh, okay, this one might. Okay, all right. So I'm going to. That's actually pretty interesting. So I'll try to remember to put this in the description as well. We have somebody that did not an abstract. It is an abstract of somebody else's thesis, meaning somebody wrote either a master's thesis or a doctorate thesis on this particular painting. So we're just going to share that for a moment, and then we're going to go for our last painting, especially since I see that it's been going on for an hour. I'm a bit surprised that it's been going longer than I thought I would be, but hey, that's fine. So let's read a little bit of the abstract. So this is an abstract from Concordia University. So that's why I want you, because Concordia University, for those of you that don't know, is one of the four universities on the island of Montreal. Okay, the other three universities is McGill University. There's also UCAM, which stands for University of Quebec at Montreal, so UQAM, and my alma mater, University of Montreal. So two of the universities are English, so Concordia and McGill, and two of them are French, University of Montreal and UQAM. Okay, so I trust Concordia. Concordia has been around. So if they say that they have this particular uh, PDF, it's an abstract, and that it is a thesis, it is something that you can go pretty much by that. Yeah, okay. Now, I'm not saying that the facts or the what the particular person is saying is truth, but it's definitely something that you can always be sure that the person put a lot of effort into looking into and being sure that they're just not making something up and just saying any other uh, anything and everything. So the authors are Darlene Caroline Cousins, um, and it seems to be 93 leaves or 93 pages, and different. There's illustrations. It's 29 centimeters, and it was dealt with by Concordia. Art history, that makes sense, and it was supervised by Sandra Pekowski. So yeah, so we'll read a little bit of the abstract here. Okay, just a little bit. Like I said, my point isn't to, you know, go into the discussion of this whole abstract and oh was this Caroline girl, was she right to, I'm just curious here, I'm looking at this more out of curiosity more than anything else. So sometimes a work of art with no immediate apparent connection to political conflict can disguise a powerful statement relevant to vicissitudes of war. Sorry if I mispronounced that word. The situation can arise in portraiture, which can be more than merely the record of meeting between the artist and the sitter. In 1925, while Adolf Hitler was still all but unknown, the German people, the artist Otto Dix, from 1891 to 1969, produced an image of a friend, the Jewish lawyer Hugo Simmons, 1892 to 1958. Okay, so I will download the text and see if I can learn more about this um, particular artwork. It is 102 pages, so to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to have time. And maybe this particular thesis might give me the answer to why the pose with the hands. So hopefully I'll take the time and read it. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second, guys. I'll let that document get downloaded already. So there we are for that one. So that particular artwork will lead me to the next one, which will be our final uh, topic for tonight. Oh, Mr. Mr. Real Estate already ended his live stream. I was hoping that was going to go longer, but okay, he ended it. He ended it. What can I do? I'm going to take 2 seconds though, guys. Sorry, I just do want to make sure about one particular thing though. Sorry, guys, if I'm quiet right now. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to show you guys one last little painting before I call it a night. Okay, it is good. Good, good, good. All right. So the reason why I showed you the previous painting by Otto Dix is to introduce you to the next painting, which integrate Remember the hands, remember the hand gesture. It's going to be important, guys, in the next painting that I'm going to show you. This painting. So we're going to go a little deep. So obviously the face looks very familiar to the first that statue that I showed you guys earlier, right? It's that same kind of face. But of course, we have the torso, including the hand gestures of the lawyer that we showed beforehand, right? Now, obviously, here the page, this arm part is upside down, so it definitely gives it a very unique look. So I'll let you guys. I do need to take care of my throat for a second, so I'll let you guys ponder this image for a moment. So here we have. Thank you guys for your patience. I thought I was doing a lot better, but I guess the Ookies, as J Pam says, just they want to make my night. They want to make my day difficult. So as you can see, like I was saying before, you have the jet face shape from that first photo I showed you guys, combined with the excuse me, the second photo I showed you by Otto Dix of Hugo Simmons, right? So you have the lower part, just combines the two together. And it does form altogether this very weird looking image. But in my opinion, it's a good kind of weird. I like because it gives, because obviously we know if this was an actual person, right? This woman would have an arm here and an arm there, right? We would have a left and right arm. But we also know, no, this is not how the torso and the arms work in a human being, right? This is not normal. And that's why it was so important for me to show you guys the Otto Dix painting first and then show, because when we see these hand gestures, when we see this torso, we know this is from the previous painting, right? The Hugo Simmons by Otto Dix painting. So what um, Nicholas Party here has done is he's created his own unique painting by having this portrait of this woman, where you kind of wondered, sort of like Mona Lisa, who is this? Right? I don't know this woman. This is not somebody that I know. I know, for example, I know what Queen Elizabeth looks like, or Princess Diana. I don't know this woman. I've never seen. If you know who this woman is, please, guys, tell me. You know what I mean? I don't know this person, but I do know this body part, right? I know this is Hugo Simmons by Otto Dix, right? So here we have this unknown visage, this unknown face, but this very well known portrait, this very well known torso and hands, where it's like, wait a minute. And because of how the torso is placed, it gives this body, or this upper part of the body, so from the head to the waist, essentially, a very unique look to it, because we know this is not how the torso and arms work, right? This is not normal. This goes against nature, right? And again, with that whole theme of nature that seems to be so prevalent in the work of Nicholas Party, right? There's rules, right? That there's an order, there's a way of that things happen without human beings having to do anything, right? Arms are placed in a certain way, they work in a certain way. So with this, what you're seeing is that the world of nature has been put upside down because, obviously this human being here, this torso and arm, is literally upside down. And it's also upside down to the fact that you have basically a head and neck attached to a torso with no head and neck, right? And this head and neck has no arms, but the torso has arms, right? So and where's the waist? Where's the legs, right? So you have these two contrarian things being put together in such a way that's so it's unnatural. This is not how the human body works. This is not a person, right? So it's to me this is the kind of weird art that I like because it has you question like why would he put this together? Why would you do this? This is how not how nature works. How if this was a person, what would they do? How would they walk? How would they eat? Is there two stomachs? Is there one stomach? Does one person cook the food and while because I'm the one with the arms, while you're gonna eat what I want you to eat? You know what I mean? Kind of like the Siamese twins, where it's like they're literally attached to each other, but you have one that's a smoker and the other one that isn't. So now what? You know what I mean? Like where do you go? What do you do with that, right? So that's what I like about these kinds of paintings, that they really in my opinion, they're good talking pieces, right? They're great at having you think and reflect and ask sometimes some of those big questions. What's the meaning of life? What's my place? How should my body work, right? How should, what is healthy? What is normal when it comes to your body? Is what we're seeing here normal? For us, of course, it's not, but I mean, if you came from another planet, from another dimension, this might be how every human being looks like, right? How everybody works. You don't know that. I don't know that, right? So that's as far as my paintings. Now, I did promise you guys that I would have you guys listen to some of the music associated with this particular exhibit. And as I said earlier, I will put all the links to my photos, to the music that I will play in a moment in the description. So, and also I'll do it before I forget, I'll also add it to the chat now. So for anyone who wants to listen to the music, hopefully after my live, please, you know, you'll be able to do so there. So just give me a second, guys. Let me get to the chat. So that's the music, guys. For those of you who are still in my chat or watching it on the replay, you should be able to see the chat and click on the links. So I will play a little bit of it. And like I said, because of copyright, I obviously can't play everything, guys. I wish I could, but unfortunately, y'all know how it is. I have to get permission, I have to do this, I have to do that. So unfortunately, I didn't do that before, so I won't be able to play everything. So I'm going to undo the music here, and then we're going to play a little bit of the music. So if you guys don't hear the music, guys, it's not because I don't like you. Your headphones are working. Your internet connection is probably good. It's just I probably had to take it out because of a copyright claim. So I'll play a little bit. Let me find. I like this particular song, so I'm gonna play that one. Well, of course, there's gonna be an ad, so we'll let the ad play a little bit. All right. So here we are, and then after the music, I'll call it a day because, to be honest, my My eyes are screaming, go to bed! Enough! Stop it with your lives. Stop it with this. Stop it with that. I've had enough. So let's get. And like I said, we're only going to play a little tiny bit, a little sample, guys. And then after that, we're going to call it a night. Just going to put this like that. There we are. Okay. All right. So here we are. So as you can see, the artist Pierre Lapointe, who's the one who did the music, he integrated that photo that we saw at first. As you can see, the faces are always about the same, right? It's intentional. Okay, so we're gonna play a little bit, just a few seconds, guys, of this. So here we are. That's it. That's it. Like I said, I can't legally play the whole song. I wish I could, and I wish I could integrate because I do have a few photos, like I said, from that exhibit that I would love to be able to just create, go into Canva, add the photos of the of the paintings and so forth that I took, and just have this music playing in the background. But again, because of copyright, I'm not allowed to do so. So that's as much as I can offer for you guys as far as the music is concerned. But like I said, either later tonight, probably tomorrow, most likely, I will add the description with the photos and the music, so that way you guys can watch my photos if you want to, please do, or listen to the music. So I hope you guys found this interesting. I like that exhibit. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. Hello, hello, Chaos Rain. How are you? I'm about to end the live, but I'm glad that you came and spent a few moments with me. I'm always happy to see you here, always happy to have you as one of my guests. I hope your Tuesday was a great Tuesday. And if it's not, I hope your Wednesday becomes a fantastic Wednesday. I'm always happy to see you here supporting me. I haven't seen a video from you in a while. Is it possible that you haven't posted in a while, or is it just me? But I do hope that you are posting content, and that it might be me that's just so busy that I don't see all of your content. But definitely let us know if you do have a live coming up or a video that's going to drop. I do want to show you some love as well. I'm not just a taker, 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 and it's all about me. As much as I'd like things being about me, I do know that you have to give sometimes to receive, right? So please let me know if you do have a live or video coming up because it feels like I haven't seen some of your content in a while. But it could be just a horrible, horrible dream on my part. So, yeah, so tonight, Chaos, I spoke about an exhibit that I went to visit at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts called L'Art Mauve in French, or the English translation to it, and I found out earlier was Mauve Twilight or Mauve Twilight. I'm not too sure about the quote unquote English pronunciation. I tend to, when I see that a word is in French, I tend to say the quote unquote French way. So yeah, so this was a talk about that particular exhibit that I went to visit. Technically, the Saturday that just passed, but the Saturday as well beforehand. So I've seen this exhibit three times in the past 10 days, essentially. So once on one day, twice on the second day. Uh, on my third visit, I did get a gift bag, so I'm very happy about that. And I did make a video. It's my quote unquote my unboxing. So not the last video I did, but the video before I show what I got in the gift bag, and it was pretty interesting. I knew in advance what I was getting, so it wasn't a big secret. But I figured, you know what, I need to create content, so why not have a quote unquote uh, unboxing video showing what I got? So that was pretty interesting. But today I showed a little bit and talked a little bit about the artist Nicolas Parti, who was the one that, of course, had this new exhibit, like I said, called uh, Mauve Twilight. Okay, and it's he's definitely a contemporary artist. His art is very much how should I say, it's of this generation. It's not the kind of work that somebody from the 1800s would do, right? It's definitely modern contemporary work. But I liked it. It was definitely a great exhibit overall. Um, I, I mean, for me, contemporary art is although I get it, because I mean, it has a bad rep where a lot of people dislike contemporary because oftentimes it feels like it's just a blank canvas that they hooked up on the wall, and this is art. Really, come on. A lot of times it feels like it's just lowbrow, basic effort. Just do whatever. We don't care. It doesn't matter, right? But that's what I like about this particular artist and his work, where it feels like anybody can do it. Like I could go up and just take paint and get it done. But when you honestly, sometimes the easiest things are that at least the things that seem easy are oftentimes the hardest things to do, right? Because I showed a couple of paintings and sculptures, but the sculptures themselves by Nicolas Parsi, they don't it's not like a Michelangelo party where it's like, okay, it's literally marble that you're making it look like it's melted butter or something. It's and make it look so soft and delicate. None of his work is Nicolas Party or like that, but you still, in that simplicity, in that anybody could do this, when you actually try to do it, it's like, I can't. I don't know what you did, and that's what's so wonderful for me in a lot of artworks is that as simple as it looks, as much as it looks like the kind of stuff that anybody and everybody can do, it really isn't. A good artist will make things seem and look easy when they're really not. Because the artist knows that if everybody goes out and tries it, and ends up failing, that just means good business for him because it's like that person's like, well, yeah, I had 10 people say they could do this and then not one, and here you are, you didn't promise me nothing, but hey, I got my driver's license, I got this, I got that, I got a whole bunch of stuff, right? So sometimes that's how the world works. But anyways, I'm rambling again, so I'm gonna, like I said, call it a night. I am pretty tired, and I'm seeing it is 11 o'clock, so I don't want to keep you guys here for nothing. So I will, end the live. So thank you guys for spending a little over an hour with me. Much appreciated, guys. And of course, I'm going to thank the two guests that I had today who came and spent a few minutes with me. Thank you, Chaos Rain. Very generous of you. And even though you were only here for a few minutes, it's a few minutes I always appreciate and enjoy. Thank you, Creel, for the living as well for being here. I definitely enjoy having you around, and I'm so grateful that again that you decided to spend a few minutes with me. So on that note, guys, have a great night. Don't work too hard, sleep tight, and yes, I do love you a whole lot. Bonsoir, good night.